You know that feeling, right? You've got a mountain of work to do, but you just can't start. There's this sense that you need to feel thrilled or charmed or at least a little bit excited to get going. If you've ever found yourself just scrolling, waiting for some spark of motivation that never seems to arrive, then this is for you.
It is such a frustrating loop, isn't it? You know what you need to do, but your mind just refuses to engage unless the task feels somehow special or new. You're just stuck in neutral, waiting for an energy boost that you can't summon on command.
Now this one idea right here, it reframes the entire problem. What if this isn't about some character flaw, like being lazy? What if it's actually a trained response? What if it's an addiction to a certain kind of emotional reward?
And that brings us right into our first section, the excitement trap. This is all about that mistaken belief that we need excitement to get things done, when in reality, that very belief is what's holding us prisoner.
So let's think about these feelings for a second. Thrill, charm, novelty. We can call these borrowed energies. See, they aren't generated by you. They come from something external, a new shiny idea, a funny video, whatever. And because they're borrowed, they're like a sugar rush. They burn out super fast and leave you scrabbling for your next hit.
So, in Section 2, we're going to dig a little deeper into this diagnosis. We're getting past the idea of laziness and really starting to understand this as an addiction. This isn't about having weak willpower, it's about having a mind that's literally been trained to work against your best interests.
This is the absolute heart of the issue. Your brain has been conditioned to wait for that chemical hit of dopamine, the reward hormone, before it'll even consider starting a task. It stopped responding to a simple sense of duty or commitment, and like the quote says, that's not freedom. That is slavery to our own impulses.
So let's just lay out the two paths here. On one side, you have borrowed fire. That's the flicker of excitement. It's totally dependent on the outside world, and it always burns out. But on the other side, you have self-generated fire. Now this comes from discipline. You build it from the inside, it's reliable, and over time it stops being something you do and starts being part of who you are.
So why does our mind fight back so hard against boring work? Well, it really boils down to three things. First, our brains are just plain overstimulated. We're used to getting huge rewards for almost no effort. Second, our ego gets involved. It feels insulted by plain, unglamorous duty. And third, we just have the whole motivation thing backward. We think motivation leads to action, but the truth is, it's the other way around.
Okay, this brings us to the most important mental flip in this whole explainer. We have to completely reverse the order of operations that we've all been taught to follow our entire lives.
This little piece of wisdom from the philosopher Vivekananda is the bedrock of the entire solution. You don't wait to feel good to get strong. That's not how it works. You build strength first, and then a deeper, more sustainable kind of joy follows as a result of that strength.
I mean, just look at the model that most of us are completely stuck in. First, we hunt for some excitement, hoping that'll fuel us to take action, and then we get a result. The problem? Step 1 is totally unreliable. If that excitement never shows up, the whole chain reaction collapses before it even gets a chance to start.
But now, here's the correct way to do it. It all starts with action. You just begin, no matter how you feel. And you will face resistance. That little voice in your head screaming, "This is so boring!" Your job is to simply endure that feeling. By pushing through it, you build real, genuine strength. And it's from that strength that a quiet, steady kind of joy begins to emerge.
Okay, so theory is one thing, but how do we actually do this? We need a clear, practical plan. I want you to think of this next part as a workout program, but for your willpower.
All right, here are the 4 non-negotiable rules for this retraining program. First, you work without negotiation. Decide your work times ahead of time. Your mood, completely irrelevant. Second, short, hard starts. Just begin with 20 minutes. The goal here is obedience, not enjoyment. Third, absolutely no stimulation before duty. No checking your phone to warm up. That just weakens your resolve. And fourth, you have to accept the dryness. That feeling of boredom, that's not a bad sign. That's the training ground.
Let this idea just completely reframe how you see things. The second your mind says, "Ugh, I'm bored," that is not your cue to stop. That is your signal that a real opportunity to build strength has just appeared. That boredom is the weight you need to lift to get stronger.
What's really fascinating is that this very modern-day problem has an ancient solution, and it's grounded in a philosophy called karma yoga, which is the path of action.
This very famous line from the Bhagavad Gita really holds the key.
What it's saying is that your domain, the only thing you actually control, is the action itself. What you don't have a right to, and what you really can't control, are the results or the fruits of that action.
So what exactly are these fruits that we're supposed to give up our claim to? Well, they're the exact feelings we're addicted to. Excitement, interest, motivation. This philosophy teaches that these feelings are results of doing the work, not prerequisites. When you demand to feel them before you start, you're actually abandoning the path completely.
This idea totally changes your relationship with your own mind. Think of it this way. Your mind is an instrument. Your true self, you, are the master. When you wait around to feel like it, you're letting the instrument tell the master what to do. The big shift is to stop consulting the mind for permission and start commanding it.
The Gita uses this really powerful metaphor here, that our desire for stimulation is like a fire. If you feed it by scrolling on your phone or watching videos right before you need to work, that fire just gets bigger and bigger, and it makes doing the actual work feel impossible. But if you deny it, if you starve it, it weakens, and your ability to focus gets stronger. No stimulation before duty, period.
Now, I know this might all sound a little intimidating, but the path to retraining your mind starts with one single, incredibly simple step: a commitment for just the next 24 hours.
So here it is, your first dose, a 24-hour vow. For just one day, try this. First, pick one block of time for one duty. Second, do not touch your phone before you start. Third, do not check in with your feelings to see if you're in the mood. Fourth, just start. And fifth, and this is crucial, you stop when the time is up, not when you feel like stopping. This one simple act can be the thing that starts to break the entire cycle.
And this is the final thought, the mantra I want to leave you with. Stop chasing that fleeting feeling of excitement. Instead, just do the work. Because by doing the work, you earn something so much more valuable, so much more permanent. You don't work because you feel like it, you feel strong because you work.